Yeah, Matt here for IrishBoxing.com with Jamie Conlan. Jamie, obviously, first off, good morning. How is things going?
It's all good. All good, Matt. How's
Good,
things?
good. First off, I want to congratulate you and Michael on your new signing, Pierce O'Leary. Just how did that come about, first off?
A bit of committed blue. I've always rated and watched Pierce's career very closely. I think we're lucky and blessed. It was a major coup for us to kind of connect with him and be part of his journey. I think we're blessed in terms of that we have now on the roster the two most exciting and promising boxers in Irish boxing, and that's Pierce O'Leary and Lewis Crocker. And both of them are in the position now to start to look to come on to the next level and start to be headline acts in their own cities and try to continue the conveyor belt of Irish boxing talent.
Have you always looked at Pierce O'Leary of like trying to maybe get him? Was there ever talks in the past maybe trying to get him?
No. I've watched him since the European under-22s, and even before that, I've seen him. I've always been a big fan of him. I followed his career when he was at the very start, making his debut in the Ulster Hall. He actually had his first two fights in the Ulster Hall, and just constantly watching him and progressing under the different coaches and learning on the job. And people forget the Pierce is only 24 years of age. He's ways beyond his years. His boxing ability, his boxing mindset, his boxing IQ is unbelievable. His left hook is class. Just everything about him is someone you want to mold a fighter into. I genuinely believe Dublin can really get behind this fighter, and it's nice. Now is his time to kind of he's ready to get into that platform and carry Dublin on his back.
It was the day before St. Patrick's Day, March 16th, that brutal but beautiful hook that put that other man out, Pierce O'Leary, and I was like, listen, he's called Big Bang for a reason, he has that punch.
No, he fought on our card last May, May 27th, Mega fought Lopez. And I remember sitting there and telling Bob Arum, like, you need to watch this kid. He's going to be special, and he proved me right that night. It was the first round destruction. And I thought it was going to be a good test for him that night, but it's just he's again back to the start. He's 24 years of age. You can take your time, but also I know Pierce really wants to run, but he's still got a lot of learning to do. He's got time on his side. He's got the ability to really carry a nation behind him. He comes across perfectly in interviews and media. He's a good blue collar fighter from a fantastic area where they get behind their own. So I'm very excited that when this opportunity presented itself to work with Pierce, it was something I dived at. As I said at the very start, I've always been high on him since the amateur days. I'm watching the progress. I thought him and Gary Cully came at the same time. I think they maybe made their debut on the same night, and I just thought these two guys can really go far, and just always watch their career and watch the progression from that moment.
What way will it work with Frank and Queensbury? Obviously, because he was a Queensbury fighter. Is this maybe?
He's still promoted by Frank, and they're doing a fantastic job with him. We're just managing that career and helping that. So it's a massive roller coaster ride that he's just about to start on, because he is at this stage where he is due to headline his first event at the end of June, and he's going to feel that different pressure of being the main man. The spotlight comes directly on him, so it is at a crucial stage of his career where we are coming in and handling and kind of having to manage a lot of things, which is great, because I think this is the most exciting part of the career. It's when the big fights are around the corner and you're starting to really need to tick all the boxes and fight the different kind of styles and go through the ups and downs. And he's more than ready for that. Mentally, he's ready for anything right now. And it's just about the right preparation, different styles, as I said, and just kind of being ready for all what's in front of him now. Because once you go to the next level, it's very hard to come back from that level. Every fight gets tough, and he's ready for coming into them big nights.
Mick coming back. I was speaking to Mick about a month ago, and he was in great spirits and he was pre-Manchester Marathon. But my question is, Mick coming back, how do you feel about that, and what's the plan going forward from your perspective?
it's just taking every day as it comes with Michael. He's taking his time. He's just relocating a new house, and he's going away for a month in Portugal. He's going to start training over there. He's took himself away from boxing completely since December, focused on the marathon, as you had said, and focused on family and getting himself right. He wasn't for the last year. He was going 100 miles an hour, and he maybe should have took a break, and we all probably should have took a break and reassess things, but we didn't, and we made mistakes, and now he's kind of taking real time out and just going through different things internally and fixing everything before he kind of makes the next move.
As I have a brother myself, and I know it's like, you know, when you go through ups and downs, what was it like on a personal perspective, if I may ask, from seeing those ups and downs over the past few months of to December and after and now to the present?
Not nice, no, definitely not nice. Not
a
good place to be for the past while, and it's been very tough seeing how he's been, and the fights that has happened, and the reaction to the fights as well. It's not been good. So no, it's been tough, but you have to be by your brother, as you know yourself. Through thick or thin, like I'll be there, and whatever he wants to do, I'm on board. So I have my opinions on everything, but ultimately, Mick is a man of his own destiny, and he's he's the master of his ship. But he's very strong-willed. He believes definitely that there's still a lot left in him for this game, and he hasn't fulfilled his obligations or fulfilled his true kind of what he wants to do, and whatever he wants to do, I'll support him. I'm behind him, and if he really wanted to say, right, that's it, which he can do. He's got the beer now. He's got the promotional side. He's getting involved in management, working with fighters. He's got a lot of different things on like outside of boxing, and he can really go in and be successful in them. But I think always it'll haunt him that if he didn't, didn't have it. So so that's where he's at. So yeah, that's kind of what it's been a tough year.
Kelly and Cronin, another signing that makes kind of personal signing, if you get me, in a way where it's a special one-to-one thing, which is great to watch, and Cronin and Mick. But the thing is, obviously, we've all heard the rumors of Kerry going down and DAZN going down to the south, and that'd be great to see. But can you elaborate on any further news on those plans at all? Maybe a possible opponent name, if there is any opponent names at all.
We're still in the foundation stage of trying to make Kerry work, figuring out all the logistics. It is a new city. Myself and Michael went down with Kevin last month, and we had a look around. We met with a different hotel. We seen where we would like to do the event in Fitzgerald Stadium. We're just going to try and make it work now. We're back down, I think, next week with the events operations guy on our team, and we're looking to see how to kind of make this all tie together. From the boxing standpoint, we have started to kind of pencil different fights in and pencil different names in. I would love the trilogy with Jamie Morrissey to be the fight. I think Jamie probably needs a fight beforehand, and I've been speaking to Ian Cochran and trying to make that work, and maybe him and Kevin on something beforehand. But we're figuring out all the logistics in terms of making a fight and the ups and downs that people don't see and kind of getting the fight done. But I think it's a fight both lads want. I think it's a fight that is perfect for the city. Limerick versus Kerry, in Fitzgerald Stadium or just outside Fitzgerald Stadium, is perfect. Outdoor in the summer. That's the kind of fight that we would like to do. Yeah, that's the one we would like. But there's other fighters there. Cal Crowley was proposed as well. Pascal sent me a message about that. So we're also looking at other options as well. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. I spoke to manager about, I spoke to Sam Jones about Sean O'Keefe potentially going on, and I spoke to Ian Cochran about Cian Reddy making his debut. So yeah, we're trying to kind of make things and pencil things together. We have a show the week potentially before it in Belfast that we're also putting together, so it's busy.
I think even from like a GA standpoint, now I know obviously Kerry are great footballers, and Limerick are great hurdlers, but two very massive counties. You know, the pride and the passion to get behind someone. I think that will drive a huge atmosphere up for the event itself, if you get me in a way.
Yeah, and given the fact that the history between the two fighters and the two first fights that they've had previously have been fantastic fights. I think one of them is maybe for the Irish Fight of the Year, but they've been controversial. It's had a bit of everything. You know, you've had upsets or whatever, and then we brought the Galway, and the atmosphere in Galway was special.
The roof off the place.
Yeah, so getting it in Kerry. We've never done the fight. None of them have fought in their home counties, I guess, especially against each other. They haven't fought in their home counties, so they haven't had a home audience or a home and away kind of feel. It's both been an away day for both crowds. So, it's the fight I think we would like to make because of the history, and I think it's a fight that will work well for TV.
Moving on, I was talking to a certain Celt, let's say, a few weeks ago, and you know who I'm going to say. Tyrone, McKenna, we all seen the promo video. First off, Jamie, the video was absolutely hilarious. The old man, and it gave up, as I said, a bit of an Alexander Volkanovski vibe. And Tyrone said he didn't even know who he was till you said that to him, which is kind of mad. But my question is, what was the feel to get Tyrone back, and what was the motive behind to getting Tyrone back?
Tyrone is just, again, similar to Michael. You kind of let the boxer make the move. They are all the masters of their own ship, and you know, Tyrone. I think I woke up to the news that he had sent me that he was retired. It told the world before. I think he told his wife. So once that happened, I'd said, right, I'm on board. Yep, no problem. I'm happy for you. And then as time went on, I think he had a celebration dinner with City Hall in Belfast. Around about that night, he was kind of suggesting to me, I don't think I'm done, you know. So time kind of went, and he said, come have a coffee. And he says, I don't want to retire. Let's see what we can get. And we were initially trying to do Ricky Burns. That one kind of fell through. And the fight that we have on our radar right now is a humdinger. It's a fight that was controversial the first time, and we are in the middle of doing another promo video for hopefully something that can come out next week.
Where is Paddy and Luke at? Because obviously Luke, you know, he's Paddy and Luke, you know, they're both at that stage. I don't really know what to name it, but you know, Luke's on the way out. But Paddy v Luke, how did that come about now? If there's any name or anything to that at all?
Both lads are on probably the back nine, and probably want to be on the back nine of their careers, and rightfully so. So it's the fact that both lads initially that they want. So that's the heart of the game. The fighters dictated the fight, and they want to kind of do that fight. We're just waiting on confirmation from Luke on terms. He's got a niggling back pain, and he doesn't want to lead us down a false sense of illusion that we're going to have a fight. So we're going to make a call on the fight by the end of this week in terms of what's going to happen, if it's going to go for August, or if Luke is playing up at him, because he does, again, bird play to Luke. He doesn't want to say yes to something, lead us down, and then 4 weeks out pull out. So he's kind of giving, and we're both giving each other a wide berth in terms of making the decision on it. So it's a fight it's a fantastic fight for Irish boxing. It's a fight that you could really sing it as the last dance. Both lads can make this was the big last hurrah. One big last all Irish fight. And to their credit, there was no persuading one or the other. That's the one they want. And you know, there is no animosity in that. There's just they both have. I know that, they've been at the pinnacle. Paddy technically was basically a world title eliminator against Berlanga, and Luke has fought a world title for the world title himself. And you know, there is only kind of one way to do it. They don't want to go out against the unknown or unheralded journeyman. They want to fight an established name in Irish boxing. So and I get that, because that kind of gets the motivation. When you are on the wrong side of 30, it's probably harder to be in the gym than it is. I know myself, it is harder to be in the gym than when you're a young 25-year-old. So both lads want the fight. Both lads are up for the fight, but it's just about Luke has a bit of an issue with the back, so it might not be a goer. It's a fight that would be really exciting, and Tyrone and Paddy in the one show would be fantastic. But it's a show we're building with a good out of all Irish fights.
Yeah. Another question: Hughes v Farrell, and then Moran O'Neill, or Moran O'Neill / Garrity. That kind of yeah.
Yes, Moran O'Neill is the fight we're looking for August as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been speaking to Moran's team. Neil has kind of been pointing the direction. We're looking at something there with Dylan Moran, and something that can be built, but also the same what we can do with O'Neill and Moran, and it's a fantastic fight in the SSE arena. Yeah. It's a fight that came a wee bit out of nowhere, because I don't think O'Neill is the biggest caller out. I know Deco and Moran have their history, but it's the perfect fight for both. It's an opportunity for O'Neill to really test himself to see where he's at, and it's an opportunity for Moran to come back and right the wrongs of the Markey fight and see where he is at in his career, and if he can reignite it and try to bring big Nates back down to Waterford. And yeah, it's a fight that stylistically should be a humdinger. I think it doesn't go the distance. I think that's a fantastic firefight. It's again, Moran coming up to Belfast in the Owen's backyard. It's new. I know he does a ticket in his home city, and he could sit and do shows down there all he wants, but he wants to test himself coming to Belfast, coming to a real. It's a cult following that Owen O'Neill has, a big football Cliftonville following that's riding the high up win. Yeah, so it's a fantastic fight. It's a fight that can it be a bit of a crossroads fight. If Moran loses back-to-back losses, he probably has nowhere to go. But if Owen loses, he has hit his limit in terms of what he's always. I think Owen is always searching for his ceiling and where he's at, and he's been constantly ticking them over. The Duffy win, and coming back and trying to see where he's at, and he was trying to test himself against Deco, but. This is a massive fight for Irish boxing. With or without titles, I think this is a massive fight for Irish boxing. And then another massive fight for Irish boxing is Rudy Farrell against George Hughes. And a big rematch that I thought controversially the first time. I thought Rudy had won. And he's came back and beat Kerr and kind of wants to come now and right the wrong and move that off his record. And George Hughes, I thought, looked a lot better under Pete. And is a lot more confident now coming into the Rudy fight than he was the first time. So fantastic fight. That was brilliant the first time. I think she'll be even better the second time.
Another one. So Crocker, obviously Crocker against Donovan. Everyone wants it. It's a back and forth to 50-50. What will be the crack on this now? Because obviously Crocker fights next week in Birmingham. Donovan, I don't know when the next time he's out, to my knowledge.
Lewis Ritson.
Yeah, Lewis Ritson. Sorry, Lewis Ritson. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, but Lewis Ritson. Now, would this fight be looking to be made by the end of this year? If both lads win, would this fight be the next fight to come off, or what's the story?
If both lads win, this is the fight for Irish boxing.
Yeah. Because it's been talked about, because Jamie, it's been talked about for so long. My Johnny and Joe did a small piece, and they're like, "Is this fight to be made now?" And Joe was saying no. Johnny was saying, Joe was saying yes. Johnny was saying, but I think this is the fight to be made 100%.
Well, I think the lads were probably right in terms of it wasn't to be made mixed.
Yeah,
Paddy Donovan having hit a test against Lewis Ritson, getting more exposure on the big Taylor Ketchel card, and then. Crocker is going into unknown circumstances in terms of being the away, being the away opponent. Sort not the opponent, he's the home fighter, but he's in the away territory. So it's the first big away day against the live fighter and the number 5 in the WBA, Conor Walker, and it's a fire fight. It's probably has all the ingredients to be fight of the year, or all the ingredients to be a fucking 2-round knockout job from Crocker go out and put an absolute destruction on. From what I'm hearing in the gym, that's what they're targeting. But Walker is a tough man who is going to be a tough nut to crack, even tougher in his home city of Birmingham. So this is right in terms of having this one fight before the big fight. I think if Croc wins, he should be at least in the top 5 of the BAA. Paddy Donovan should be around about that as well. It's a massive fight for the WBA. pushing them in the right direction for world rankings and world titles and world eliminators. And it is a testament to the fight that it is. It's not just a big fight in Ireland, it's a big fight in the world. It's a big fight in world boxing. It's a fight that can really be built for something bigger. Paddy Donovan has always had the pedigree from the amateurs coming right through, signing with Andy Lee, having the glitz and glamour of that and the big showcase. Croc has been, again, a cult following in Belfast for his knockouts as a young kid, turned pro very early, flattening everyone at the early stages of his career, and then went through a bit of a rough patch with injuries and came into the ring. His rebuild has been fantastic and a testament to his mentality for the last 2 years, moving away to Billy Nelson, and what he's done then in the last few months has been fantastic. He's really burst onto the stage, and this is a massive fight, hopefully before the end of the year.
One more question. Galway, I'm a Galway man myself, and I'd just like to know, will Conlan Boxing be bringing Galway back? Would you be bringing boxing back to Galway? Because the last time I wasn't there, but I watched from, I was actually in Kerry for a family holiday, and I watched from Kerry, and Jamie, to say he's blew the roof off the place was an understatement. The main event, we all know it's history. But will Conlan Boxing be looking to bring boxing back to the West? Because obviously we've seen back in March, there was 2 shows back-to-back on the day before Patrick's Day and Patrick's Day. But my question again, would it be brought back, do you think? Or could it make it happen?
It depends on the right fighter. We're no longer working with Kieran Malloy, so we won't be going back to Galway with Kieran, but I'd say Kieran can most likely bring fights back to Galway if he has the right building behind him. He's a fantastic fighter. Again, one of the big prospects in Ireland that can really move things. So Galway is a city that I went after the defeat to Michael's defeat to Lopez, and went to Salthill with the family and just loved it. When we came, then we went back we went there for our own show, and I'd say to the wife that it was somewhere I could go and live. I love it over there, and there definitely is a boxing city. The amateurs that come through Galway and the surrounding areas is the Olympic club in Galway is one of the best in Ireland, and there is fighters there if it is brought back. We had it in our plan to kind of make it a stable part of Irish boxing in our nights, but we're no longer working with Kieran Malloy, so we won't be making a stable part of this one in time. But if another fighter comes along, we'll definitely come down, because we know the appetite for Galway boxing is massive, and with the right fighters there, you can really build off it.
Because even with the match show, the McElady show, I was like, listen, is this the start of it now, Jamie? Is this the start of boxing coming back to Galway? And then I just obviously wanted to ask that question. But one more, would the ODS be something somewhere else? Because obviously, what happened with September, and we don't really talk much about that. But would the ODS be something that you'd look to go back to, even maybe with the a prospect show, or just a show in itself?
But no, listen, we'll be banging on the drum now from here on in with Queensberry to try and get big time boxing, bring a big show with Pierce O'Leary in Dublin. He lives a stone's throw away from the Three Arena. I think that's the goal for Pierce O'Leary, is to try and build something there in Dublin. There's various different venues. Look at Harry Bernard Dunn built his career back from being in America and being away, and then coming back and building in the National Stadium, and then coming up to the big fights in at the end of Point Depot. So that's kind of, you have the right fighter. I think with the right fighter, there is always opportunity in a certain city. Dublin is a city that when the right fighter comes along, they get behind them. I think that right fighter is Pierce O'Leary. There's other fighters in the city, the likes of Thomas Carthy. Emma Brennan, Thomas Carthy, a young fighter turning pro again from the same gym as Emma Brennan and Pierce O'Leary, who I believe has got all the ingredients to go all the way. And again, young, enthusiastic fighter coming through, big puncher, great boxer, great amateur pedigree. Again, this could be a reignited Dublin boxing scene. Thomas Carthy is a massive ticket seller, a heavyweight that they can all get behind there as well. So the world is the oyster. I think there could be, over the next few years, a changing of the guard in terms of Belfast being the city of boxing, the Dublin being the city of boxing, if the fighters come through and if the TV companies come through with them. So just watch this space maybe for Dublin boxing.
You're giving us loads, Jamie. I really appreciate it. And on that note, thank you so much for joining. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day for this interview. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries, man. I appreciate the call.